So welcome to the training session. We're going to get a few basics nailed down here. So the opening is very important. Not quite. A little better. Relax. And try again. So that's something we just continually work on, each within our own respective self-contained system. So it's important to have a few things handy here. Different levels. Okay, here's an implement that's gonna raise my perineum, a certain level, and provide me with a certain level of stability, and a certain level of comfort as well. So right now I'm sitting in a zazen, and I can comfortably do my practice here in my zazen and be quite comfortable for up to about half an hour at this point. Then I'm going to want to, change around a little bit in this position. I can work on spreading out and getting a more even distribution while I inflate from my perineum. My perineum can be in full contact with the earth, the ground, on the same plane as as everything else. So it's a good position here. And for some beginners, you may want to have have an implement here of some description to raise the perineum a little bit, so that it's like trainer wheels, just like trainer wheels. But even then, for even for an advanced person, this may come in handy for certain things, right? And then I have a different one, and I can raise it up even more, so you can get some different implements to help you out here. Or perhaps something like this. Gonna provide you with a different kind of approach. It's important to have some good water handy. I've got some good mountain water here from high up in the mountains. Glacier water that has some good stuff in it, which I like to keep that handy. So good water is important, but you do what you can with what you have. And also it's good to have some warm water handy as well. When you get deep into the core, things are going to heat up, and it's going to be a quite an intense workout. Just like if you would do a lot of reps on a medium weight, and you would really do a lot of reps, your muscles will start burning, right? So the same thing's going to happen deep within the core, as well as other effects at different stages of the training. What else? Yeah, the lighting. I find it's helpful to have it a little bit dim, and you want to be somewhere that's, you're not going to be disturbed. You want to have fresh air. I've got both windows open here to get some circulation going through, and so you want to be comfortable, but you don't want to be too comfortable either. If so, the thing about developing the inner Gong, it's that we have to have some. There needs to be some resistance, so we can. But we have to start out with an appropriate level of resistance. Just like if you were training a iron palm, you wouldn't start with iron, or you wouldn't start on granite. You would start out on mung beans, and then build it up gradually until you build the the quality of the fiber on the hand and things. So this is the same. We just need, if you're in a weak condition, if you have some sort of illness or underlying issue, or you're weak in some way, then be careful with with the level of resistance. Maybe then you need to focus on just the conditions being comfortable and quiet, and not being disturbed, and so that you can find the most subtle inner experience, which is developing the Gong, and so that you can immerse yourself into that and keep developing that without any external resistance or annoyance, or someone else's anxiety or whatever it is interfering with that. So we need to develop the inner Gong up first to a point where it's strong enough that it can it can burn off, or it can basically create a shield around you. And then when it starts to create a shield around you, then we can start opening the blinds so that the neighbors can see, and so that people can just freely walk in, and but I'm going to be deep in it, and my shields are going to be up, and I'm going to be developing that shield with those respective levels of resistance. But in the beginning, we just want to be comfortable where we can feel this process start to happen, and then immerse in it, and develop it. So I'm going to start with this one. It's a good one to start with, something that's going to raise your perineum just enough so that you can sink your awareness to the perineum and start to inflate from the perineum, and then from there work your way into the core, and then extend it up through the crown. So in the beginning, it's okay to compromise the structure a little bit to accommodate for this process to start to happen from the perineum, and then bring it into the core, and then up the spine. So we're just gonna relax onto the buoyancy, find the buoyancy from the perineum, and just relax on that. Inhale, and then let it go, let it go, let it go. Follow it, follow it. And in the beginning, you may need to slightly push the air out of the lungs as you sink all of the electrical activity that was up in your mind here, processing everything. You know, what am I going to say to this person? What am I going to, make for dinner? What am I going to, and there may be different angst. People may have, some PTSD or something bugging them that it may be difficult. So we have to find the switch to switch that off. At least we need to understand how to set the conditions right here so that we have a window of opportunity here to develop this. And we're just each individually going to have to figure out what's going to work for us. So I'm pushing it out, and sinking the density down to the perineum. And a good sign that it's working is that you may feel a slight warmth and tingling start at the perineum. As I push it out, push everything out, and then when I've pushed the air out as much as I can go, then I let it go and follow it in from the most subtle experience. Inhale, and then I bring it up the spine, project it straight up through the crown, let the chin come in naturally. This part of the S curve up here goes that way as the spine straightens. This part of the S curve here comes in slightly. So you're going to feel the dynamic of that S curve. You're going to find it within yourself, and then project it straight up. And obviously, let go of any fixed mental constructs. So, because we're human beings, we kind of have to explain things in some way so that there's something that we can piece together conceptually, and then internally feel for that. But as we feel for that, and as it develops naturally, then we want to let go of any fixed mental construct or even fixed internal construct, and just let go into the most subtle experience. And as this prenatal process starts to activate again, that energetic mechanism, which is going to get stronger. There'll probably be a little bit of electric and heat, among other effects, start to build up. And as that starts to build up and makes its way through the you know, the chakras, the psychophysical, emotional system. It's going to have to, we're going to go through a process, and it's going to start to, it's basically going to start to burn off whatever underlying issues that we have. So the Tibetan Tumo practitioners, one of them at least, a good one that I was watching, he explained it like it's going to burn through all of the negative energy. It's going to burn off the negative energy. But bear in mind, that's a fixed mental construct. Whatever it is we're trying to use to conceptualize or feel for it, you have to let go of that and just use the most subtle thing and follow it down, follow it down, follow it down, push it out, push it out, push it out. Let it go, feel it start to inflate. And if you ever feel shortness of breath, it's going to happen. You're probably going to, you'll be trying to find it, and then you'll have some kinks to iron out. So inevitably you're going to end up, feeling shortness of breath here and there. So just start with a smooth cycle that you can feel, and let it build naturally through a natural breath. Density is going down, going down. Down there, and now it's coming up. And let's stretch up as the density rises, and then as the density falls, I relax it down. I let it go down. My structure compromises slightly as the density goes down, and then I bring it up and I stretch up through the crown, project up through the crown as I stretch. Fully inhaled, fully inflated. And follow the density down, follow it down, follow it down, follow it down, follow it down. So remember to keep stretching, it's important.